Yo, what's up guys, and welcome to episode 1 of the 0 to a million in a week trading guide. So, what we are going to be covering in this one is how are you going to go from 0 coins to 10k in the first hour of FIFA. We are going to say that you are lucky enough, hopefully, to get transfer market access. Otherwise, trading is literally no use to you until you can get transfer market access or go on EA access or early access. So congratulations, you might have been one of the one of the chosen ones who've had a transfer list. May say there is no correlation. People are like, oh, like I can access the market, and I would non-stop get messages how you accessing the market. And it's like, how do you win the lottery? It's just it's random as such. But yeah, so we're going to cover how you're going to go from 0 to 10k in this episode, and this is split up of 2 parts. Part numero uno is going to be discarding your starter packs, and part number 2 is going to be doing the basic tradable SBCs. So, let's crack underway with part 1. So, of course, at the beginning of FIFA, depending how long you've been playing FIFA, depends how many packs you get. So, an example is, if you played FIFA 17, and then you log on to FIFA 18, I think you get 4 mixed player packs and 2 5k packs. This discard is going to be sending you around about 6-7k, and again, the longer you play, the better the packs you're going to get. But the one big thing is, how do you decide what you discard and what you don't discard? We'll go through the biggest things. If you get a trash icon, discard them. That might sound kind of weird because Inzaghi might go to 200k, but if you have an Inzaghi, again, let's say you have a baby Inzaghi, discard him, you have 100k to go and put on Gabriel Jesus's. Gabriel Jesus's could go 4 times more than what they are at the moment, whereas Inzaghi could just go double, 3. But because Inzaghi is 100k or 200k, no one is going to be buying Inzaghi until early access or EA access comes out, because no one's getting 100k on the web app unless they're extremely good at trading. But especially within the first hour. So if you get an icon, a trash one, like if you get an honorary, don't discard it. You want to be discarding those players. We'll then go down to the second tier, and let's say you get a trash inform. Maybe you get an inform from the Super League that just looks terrible. You get an African League, you get a Championship. One that no one is really going to want now. You might see people always talking about investing Team Week 1. That 10k is worth way more than holding on to the inform. Because again, a Gabriel Jesus would go up a lot faster than a Championship, let's say, inform as such. So informs discard. We'll now go on to gold rares. The gold rares you are looking to discard are going to be guys like FLAIR, like guys from probably the Championship, guys from the Super League, just guys who really don't look like they have any use whatsoever. Again, just trash players. On top of that, you might want to even go with guys from good leagues and good nations. Again, you see me use FLAIR as an example. He's a trash counter trade player. He's not going to go up really whatsoever. There might be like some, I don't know, trash centimeters like from the Prem. I don't know, like Hollebreg, that guy from Southampton and such. So, there might be some really trash gold rare centimeters that aren't going to go up, and you just want to discard them. We'll then go on to, again, if you're not sure to discard them, just see what they're on the market. Maybe there's loads of 800 coins, just discard them, because if there's loads of 800 coins, they're just going to keep getting flooded for cheaper and cheaper. You then want to move on to, move on to gold non-res. You'll see me using Evans here, and again, this is another thing you want to check, because everyone just wants to get the coins at the beginning. Everyone could just be listing up Evans for 400 coins. More or not, you're not going to be able to sell him on, so just discard him. And again, a lot of gold non-rares you're going to be looking at discarding, because they're really not going to have much value, unless the only ones I'd maybe look at are like the 80+ ones, maybe like a Brozovic or a, I don't know, like a Bruno, obviously from this year. They're the sort of guys you want to look at selling. Again, you don't want to be holding on to any cards unless these sort of cards are going to hyperinflate again. I'm talking like maybe Izaquados, your Nkudus. And unless you only want to be holding on to them if you already have coins. There's no point holding on to all your players and sitting with 1k. You might as well sell them, try and quickly get your coins up before these cards rise. Because I'll use a little example right here. Let's say I have an Izaquado, right? And I can sell my Izaquado straight off the back for 1.5k. Rather than if I hold on to him for 2 hours, he goes up to 3k. Well, as long as I turn that 1.5k into 3k within 2 hours, I'm profiting off of selling him. Because I'm using the coins. I'm basically earning my coins faster than Izaquado is going up in price. So that's what you want to do. Like, it's a bit of a gamble, because I actually packed Gabriel Jesus last year on the web app and sold him for 8k straight off the bat, So, and then I believe I flipped that into like 34k by the evening, whereas Gabriel Jesus would only been worth like 15k in the evening, so it would have been the play as such. But that's moving on to selling players, and again, selling players is something you might want to look at. But then going on to silvers, honestly, just discard probably all silvers unless they're in the Prem or needed for one of the League SBCs. We do actually get 2 League SBCs off the bat. We have the Super League and the Liga NOS, so make sure they're not from the leagues of the League SBCs. And then bronzes, again, you probably just want to discard them or see if you can use them in a basic SBC. So now you may have amassed your coins. Let's just say, theoretically, you've amassed 2 to 3k. Now, the first ones, you have to do the let's get started, but you just use your non-rares in that and just get even more non-rares, so nothing too mad. The first ones you want to do, and some of the most profitable SBCs you want to do at the beginning of FIFA, are going to be the, I think this year it was called the Let's Go ones, and basically it was the only basic SBCs that are tradable. Again, you don't have to go straight onto the advanced, you can go to the basic, especially if you're sitting on 2-3k. Now, the first one which they asked you to do was you needed 5 players from 1 league and 5 different nations. So the first thing you want to do is pick a non-major league. You don't want to be going with a Prem here. More likely than not, you probably would have amassed a fair few bronze and silvers in your starting packs or the Let's Get Started SBCs. So first off, look through them. You know, maybe you've got 2 Bundesliga 2 guys from Germany and Latvia or something like that. You know, you got players from different nations. Well, that's going to save you 400 coins because you won't then go and have to buy the players. Again, I'd try and use players in the club. Don't just start, if you have 1 Prem untradeable player, don't use Prem untradeable. Just try and keep it to minor leagues. Leagues I'd recommend, the Austrian League, which is known as the O Bundesliga. The Bundesliga 2 or 3 aren't too bad. Obviously, the Championship's not too bad. And what else do we have? Maybe like the Mexican League could be quite good. Now, one thing I will say is because you actually needed full chemistry on this SBC, go with the nations that are harder to get before you go with the easy ones. So, for example, we'll go through the Mexican League. You want to try and make sure you get your guys from the really obscure nations. Maybe you're going for players like Panama. Make sure you get those players before you get the Colombian players, because everyone does have to be in the right positions as such. So, let's say it's easier to find a Panama player who'd be a striker than a Panama player who'd be a right mid from the Mexican League. So make sure you go the striker first because it will probably end up being cheaper. And then you want to pick the more common nations, maybe such as like Mexico and Colombia and, you know, Argentina. Go for those nations later on because they'll be easier to pick up. And the first SBC, I believe, was a rare silver players pack. And again, all you need to do is trade in 5 players. So let's say you already have 2 of that. It's costing you 600 coins, all 1k at max. Or if you're bidding on all the players, what, 750 coins for a rare silver players pack. Now, a rare silver player pack does discard for around about 2.5 to 3k. So you're paying 500 coins, and at minimum you're getting 2.3k. Again, you could get some silvers needed for a league SBC. So therefore, you're already profiting, let's say 2k off this SBC. Brilliant, you know. You then move yourself onto the next SBC. Again, the basic SBCs can be completely different, but more likely than not, because they're so generic, they should be very, very easy to profit off of. So move on to the next SBC. The next SBC, if I'm not wrong, was you needed 5 different... Was it 5? Yeah. 5 different leagues, but 1 nation. Again, really good nations to do this with. England. They already got themselves 4 leagues. You could do this with Argentina. You could do this with Brazil. I'd probably recommend going with England. And, of course, there's only 4 English leagues. So what you want to do is you want to make sure you get the more obscure leagues for it first. So, for instance, England's probably going to have guys from Scotland and the Irish League. But, likewise, how I said with the nations thing, you want to go with the more obscure leagues before you go the more normal leagues. Because trying to find a Scottish-English right mid will be a lot harder than trying to find a championship, I don't know, a 3rd English tier right mid. You know, there's going to be a lot more selection in those sort of leagues. So, you want to go for like your Scottish League and your Irish League first, and then just fill up with your championship leagues. As such, again, in this one, you actually did need, I think it was 3 silvers. So make sure you go try and go Silver Scottish League and Silver Championship. Just, well, you know, just make sure you get your silvers in before you go your bronzes, because finding maybe a Silver English right mid is harder than finding a Silver English cam, as such. And there's that one done. And again, that one was 7.5k. For at maximum, you're paying 1k, saying that you don't have any untradables or that you didn't get any on bids. So again, you're already on, you know, anywhere from 4-5k profit just from doing these 2 SBCs. The final SBC was a game for a 7.5k pack. This was a little bit more challenging as such. And basically what you needed for this was you needed strong links between your striker and striker, strong links between your centre mid and centre mid, strong links between your centre back and centre back. There are actually multiple ways of doing this one, but I guess that's as such. That's just the easiest way of doing it. And basically what you'd use is you'd use silvers in all of them. So you'd use maybe a Calcio B Italian striker and a Calcio B Italian striker, get them links. Bundesliga 2, both German centre mids, link them up. Championship third, link them up. And again, that was another 7.5k pack, and at this time, what do you need? 6 players for 1.2k. So again, that's going to bring you in another 2 to another probably about, you know, about 1.5 to 2k profit. So for all these at the moment, we're at least sitting here on about 7 to 8k profit. And then you had the overall reward of that, which was an all players pack, which again is going to give you, what, 4 gold, 4 silver, 4 bronzes, which again is another 1.2 to 1.5k. So just off these SBCs, you've already made yourself, we'll say in the rounds from, let's say, 8 to 10k, saying, you know, maybe you got like one guy worth 1, 2k. So again, this is a very, very easy way of making your coins. Now, one thing I want to say is you want to try and do this all in an hour, because of course in an hour, all these cards are ending on the bids. Which people would, again, logged on and just list them up for open bids, just try and get whatever coins they can. So then you want to look for bidding. Again, in the next episode, I will talk about the first wave of cards you want to look to bid on when you've got this 10k. And then in later episodes, I'm also going to say, you know, if you can do as many of these maybe in 30 minutes, then the other sort of SBCs, you're looking to grind as many coins for 1k. But that is going to be it for how you can go from 0 to 10k just via discarding players and via doing the basic SBCs. Thank you very much for watching. It is greatly appreciated. You do decide to watch the old videos. Of course, a written format will be linked down below in the form of a trading guide. If you do enjoy the video, make sure to drop it a like, because you know, it helps support my channel. If you want to see these videos, we do upload them daily, so feel free to subscribe. Again, you can follow the Twitter, because I tweet out stuff, you know, when I guess I'm live, when these videos go live. Again, check out the Twitch as well, because I'll be streaming every single day, 12 to 14 hours, probably from the 15th onwards, so should be good fun. And yeah, thank you very much for watching. Just to see you guys tomorrow with the second episode of how to go from 0 to 1 million a week, with the first wave of players you want to look to invest in once you've got that 10 or maybe 10, 15k, you know, depending on what you get. The first players you want to look to invest in who will hopefully rise the fastest.